Hi, welcome back to our SolidWorks series. In this lecture, we will discuss Extrude Boss in detail. Means I will teach you how to use other functions than blind in SolidWorks. We will only discuss Extrude Boss base, then every other features can be applied to that. Let's say I draw a rectangle and I exit sketch. Now the options come here of up to vertex, up to surface, offset from surface, up to body. And same for the direction too, what the symbol is, what the thin feature, and what is sketch plane. I will teach you all the options from here in this lecture. So starting now, starting with the basic, let's just draw a rectangle. I have set the dimensions to mmgs. Let's just give the dimension of 100 into 80, and I will just click on extrude base. Now the simple option is make the blind option. I will give the value from here, that is 10 mm, already default value. Then I will just click on check, and then our body has been 3D body has been created. And by holding the scroll wheel and rotating, we can change the view, we can change the orientation of the drawing. So now that's this simple I have already taught you in previous class. Now we will discuss about the other things. Other things means, let me just show you again that how to use up to vertex, how to use up to surface, how to use offset from surface, how to use up to body, and how what is mid plane. So let me just delete them both. We will start with the up to vertex. Let's say we have this rectangle, and I will click on front plane now, and from this rectangle I will draw a line till 100 mm upwards. So I just want to make sure that we can draw the rectangle offset from this base of 10 mm, and it extends up to 100 mm from the base. So for that purpose I will just create one line here. Let me just select front plane, one line here. Like I said, the ending point will be the offset of 100, and the starting point of the rectangle will be the offset from origin is 10. So let me just click on this line, and you can right click and select chain, but it's not necessary to do this. You can just select the sketch and click on extrude base. Now we don't want it to start from the bottom. Like I said, we want it to offset 10 mm and then goes up to 100 mm from the starting point. So I will just click on the from point, and I will click on vertex, and on the vertex I will just select this point, starting point. Now we can see that on the front plane that this was origin. Now the sketch 3D part will start after 10 mm distance, and it will extend up to 100 mm. So with we can also write 90 mm, but we can also use up to vertex option. On up to vertex option I will just click on the ending point. Now we have this complete rectangle, and vice versa we can just create 10 mm rectangle in the bottom. That's how we can create the two drawings. Okay, now let me show you other thing also, that by at the end point, if I create 4 rectangles, let's say of 2020, we can connect them. But before that, let me show you that there are separate two bodies. In the solid body section we can see Boss Extrude 2 and Boss Extrude 3. When we hide one body, the other body remains. Means they are not interconnected because there is a gap between them. So to close the gap, I am going to draw 4 legs. So for legs purpose, I have created one leg. Now I don't have to create a rectangle here. I can just do mirror. I have drawn this straight line from the origin. Now this horizontal line from the origin. So I will just click on here and select rectangle or lines and click on mirror. Now again selecting two rectangles and the horizontal construction line and click on mirror entities. Now we have 4 legs. Just clicking on extrude base. Now we want them to connect. We can just simply do through all because it will go up to that. We can do up to vertex. Okay, but I am going to show here how to use up to body. So I will just select up to body, and you can see that the rectangles has been extruded up to the next body. And if I don't click on the merge result and click on tick, then we have 4 again separate bodies. So you can see that there's line separating them. So to avoid this, we want to make one body. Then I will just click on merge result, and by clicking on merge result, when we are merging 2 bodies or 3 bodies or so, we have to have option to merge 2 bodies together and make the one body separate, and we can make the 3 whole bodies together. So we can do better feature scope. If the body 4 rectangles we are creating, if we want 4 rectangles to be merged to the only above body, then we will select only above body here. Then it will only be merged to the above body, and the bottom plate will be the separate here. But if we want the rectangles to be merged only to the bottom, not to the top, then we will have 2 bodies here now. Bottom is one now and up part is separate, but we want both bodies to be merged with the rectangles. So I will just click here, and now you can see we have only one body. See, that's how we use the feature scope function and up to body function. So keeping that aside, let's do something new. Firstly, sorry, I will just right click here. I will take a mid plane line. Let me draw some random stuff to explain more. I will create one rectangle here, oh sorry, circle here, one big circle here. Circle diameter will be 50, 70, and the center to center distance will be 200. So now we have to create something like circle here, and then the both will be connecting by the one rectangle. So and for to create circle, I will just click on the Extrude Boss base function, and now I will teach you how to use selected contours function. Now I don't want both circles to be formed at once. One thing I can do is make 2 separate sketches, and second thing I can do is create one sketch, and then in the selected contours section I can just click on one solid surface, complete close sketch to get a circle like this. Now I will select mid plane and click on tick. Now you can see only one circle has been created. Now extrude base again selecting. Now I will just create selection and click on the other and make mid plane, and let's give it a dimension of 12. Now you can see we have created 2 separate. Now by clicking on right plane, we want to create a rectangle which will go till that and till that too. So let me just use center rectangle. For the easiness, I will just click on the center and make the dimension of 10. I guess 10 is very small, 15 is okay, and 10 here too. So I will just click on Extrude Base now. Now I will just do blind. We can do that simply by adjusting manually from here, but we can also do it by using up to next function and direction to up to next function. Now you can see it clearly that the next body is his and next body is this, so it has being extruded till the next body. You can see in the preview that it is curved also because the circle is curved. So I will just merge result and auto select. Now you can see we have a complete shape here. Now let me just check the degree. If we see here, let me take this. What is the degree between this line and this? It says that it is 0.88. Okay, now I will show you how to use draft function. So in this direction, draft outwards 0.88, sorry, 0.87. Yes. Now I will check to make sure what degree is needed here. 0.6, 0.7, 0.8, 0.88, 0.86, 0.865, 0.87, 0.869, 0.868, 867. So draft, as the demonstration shows, that draft means that the all edges will converge inside if we don't check the draft outside function. But if I have checked here draft outside, means this means that the rectangle will go straight and it will start in the angle between them, means it will not converge. Now it will diverge, the perimeter will increase. So as you can see in the preview also, that the one thing is here, it is going straight here because I have not selected draft here. But in the next section, because the thickness was 12 and the rectangle dimensions were thickness were 10, so it was not merging together. So I used draft to make the perimeter large and to make the rectangle close to the circle thickness at the end. So you can see here by clicking on check, you can see that now there is a very less distance between them. They are now, we can say, one part. This is how we can use draft. I can teach you draft in another way too. Let me just hide it. Let's say we have this front plane and we create this here, this and this, clicking mid plane and selecting midpoint and origin and making it vertical. Now the giving the height 60 and the length here is 50. Now and length here is 80 is good. Now extrude basing, extrude basing 80. Now right plane, I will again do the bottom length of 50. Sorry, I kept that 50 or 60, let me confirm first. 50. The bottom edge was 50 in distance, so I will just make them 50. So trimming these entities. Now it's your cutting and through all both. We can use also up to next and the up to surface also. In the up to surface, I just have to select the surface where I want the cut to be, clicking up to surface. So now you can see the parameter is low at the bottom and it is increasing as we go upwards. So it is created in two steps here and needed a lot of sketches, but we can do it in a very single step. So let me again clicking on right plane, but this time we will draw, sorry, not right plane, it's top plane. So this time I will just make it here on 50 length, making them equal. Now let me give the dimension of 30. Full to use fully defined sketches is a more practical way, more handy, more useful. So on the upper surface I will select this surface. Now it is just a rectangle which is extruding, but we don't want that. We want something like this, that parameter is increasing, so we'll use draft function and use draft outwards to make the parameter large. Means draft outward, every edge will increase. So now you can see, it is created in one single step where it took us a two step in the previous. So that's how draft function can be used. We can also create it by, let me select delete the sketch first. Let me select this plane first. Now we have used draft outward. Now I will use draft inward function. These are same. Let me make it equal. Yes. Now we will have to just give dimension, length, distance between them. Let's say 30, and let's make these two lines a collinear relation. Now it's all set. Yes, dimension is 30. I have confirmed now. Now we want it to till the bottom. What is this big rectangle which is extruding? We don't want that. Then we will click just on draft and in draft inward, because we have not checked the draft outward. Means the parameter will converge when we go downward. So by clicking on check, we have the same rectangle, same feature which we wanted. So this is all about the draft. So let's see what are the options we have in the during the direction phase. Offset from surface up to body and mid plane. So let me just delete these, everything we have got designed. Now for the offset on surface, let's make again circles. I will create one circle, give the dimension of 40, sorry, and let's make it a linear pattern here. 2 3 4. 4 is okay. Let me fully define the sketch by giving the distance between the circles. Now it is fully defined. Now what I am thinking is that we will extrude this circle here, extrude the circle here, extrude circle here, extrude circle here. Means the cylinder length will increase as we go down the circle. So there is a one way to do so, that we give the first circle dimension of 100, second 80, then third 60, and last fourth. But that's a way to do this. But there is a second way to do this. We can use offset from surface feature here. So just selecting extrude base and clicking on the sketch, and I will select contour only this. Now I will select blind. First dimension I will give is 80. Now I have to let me first show the sketch. Now I have to make this circle length 80, this 60, and this 40. So I will just do that. I will click on this circle, and the contour is already been selected. I will just select this, and I can write 80 here, but we don't want to write So the other thing we can do is we can use offset from surface. I will click at the surface from which we want the offset. Offset can be in the upward direction and in the bottom direction. So clicking on the surface and giving the distance 20 because we want 20 offset now. 100 minus 20 is 80, so we want 80 length, and we have to offset from the top and give the value 20. So now we have this cylinder here, but if we want to make this length 120 not 80, means adding 20 in the 100. So I will click on reverse offset. Now you can see that from the surface the length has been increased up to 120 degree. So the jump was 40 degree. Before it was, before checking the reverse offset, it was 80 mm length, but after checking the reverse offset the length is 120. So we don't want that, we want 80 mm. So I will just uncheck reverse offset and click and check. We have this now. Now let's do the same for the other thing as well. Clicking on selected contours, I will hide them and select on this, and on the surface I will select this. This symbol is for surface. Now again 20 offset we needed, and the length will be now 60. To check it is 60, we can use also the measurement tool in the evaluate section, but we can also check by randomly sketching the. So you can see that the straight line is 60, that the straight line length is now 80, straight line length was 100. So now we want this to be 40. We can write just the value, but no, we don't want to do that. We will then click on the surface and just check it. So now we have a cylinder of 20 mm offset from their immediate cylinder. That's the one way to do so. So next is thin feature. Now let's move towards the thin feature thing. Thin feature is used in all the features, so we will discuss only for the Extrude Boss based, and you can apply it to the other as well. So deleting this, yes to all, and deleting this sketch too. So now next step is to understand how to use a thin feature. Thin feature means we want this, we can draw this line of 100 mm and we don't close it, means we don't uh, make a complete rectangle like this. We leave it as a straight line, but we want to draw a rectangle. So when we go to the Extrude Boss base and click on this line, you can see the thin feature is activated here, default, because it detected that we do not have a closed contour. Closed contour means we do not have the ending point and the starting point together, means it is an open sketch. Open sketch. So for the open sketches, thin features gets activated by default, and if you uncheck the thin feature we cannot draw anything because it is not a closed contour. So the thin feature is necessary. Thin feature has three types: one direction, two direction, and mid plane. Mid plane means currently it has been set to 10 mm thin feature length. 10 mm means this thickness will is 10 mm. So by clicking on mid plane, 5 mm is downward, now 5 mm is upward. And clicking on two direction, now 10 mm is downward, 10 mm is upward. So this is what thin feature can do. Thin feature is also useful if we want to create something. When we have a close contour, we can also use thin feature too. Then thin feature will work in a way that it will create the outside border of this, and it will make the closed rectangle hollow from the inside. Let me just show you. Clicking on blind and front plane, as you can see it is currently generating a complete solid rectangle, but we don't want that. I will click on thin feature now, and you can see that by clicking on check we have a now hollow rectangle. The rectangle we designed is now empty, and around it the 10 mm wall has been generated. So we can use the mid plane too, but mid plane is not possible because the length is very low. So I will if click wait, click 2, now we have this it is created. So the other thing we can, which is very helpful for this, is cap ends. This is the basically a radius value. Let me just set it to, sorry, it does not radius value. Before designing we have to check the radius. Thin feature of blind. No, it is not used here. We can use it in the other for the line purpose only. Let me just do this, have this, and this too. Now clicking on Extrude Boss base. Yes, now we have auto fillet toners. So I will just click on this too. I will click on blind. Now we have this. I just created the sharp edges 1, 2, 3. But if we have set the values to 2 mm, so by clicking check, we have now the smooth surface here of 2 mm radius. If I increase it to 5, let's say, and click on check, we have a more smooth value here. So this is what auto fillet radius can do. This is a very handy tool, thin feature. Let's say mid plane to 5. Yes. Now we escape the step of using or fillet after the edges, because if I do this, now we have the sharp edges. Now I will have to use fillets of 5 mm, which we did. Bottom at here to, at here to, at here to. Now you will see exactly the same what we did in the extrude thin. So this is all about the thin feature, selected contours, selection to draft, blind, and sketch plane. So vertex or offset is what remains. Now moving towards that. So for this sketch plane, let's say we have a rectangle here, of 20 mm, and from the right, since right plane is far away from this, and we draw a sketch here. Let's say we draw a slot and extrude base. Now you can see that it has been extruding from the origin, from the plane where we draw the sketch, but we don't want that. We want that it should emerge from this here and 10 mm only from this. So we will click on from, click on sketch plane, the menu will open. I will click on surface plane face, and I will click here. Now you can see that it is being extruded from this surface, and let me give value of 10 mm, and clicking on check, we have this. The other way to do so is, if we don't have a surface, we have only some points, we can click on vertex and click on here. It is again giving the same result. So that's how we can use the surface offset. So in this lecture we have covered the thin feature, menu, drop down menu of directions, and the from section. So thank you so much for watching the video. In this lecture, next lecture, we will discuss multiple features which are left.